Oh, wait up, guys.
What's wrong?
I took an arrow to the knee.
Oh.
You gonna be okay? You gonna be able to walk?
Wait a second. Arrow to the... Nothing. Never mind.
Oh,
Just coincidence.
yeah.
What?
You didn't play Skyrim. You don't know. Does anyone hear Nordic chanting? Anyone?
No.
No.
Oh. Hey, Becky,
Yeah.
turn around. Is that a cat person? Otherwise known as a Khajiit?
I thought we were at a furry con.
Oh, Moreland, quit trying to fuck it.
Do you know what? Khajiit is innocent. Khajiit stole nothing.
Wait a second. I wonder if they did the tutorial because we're okay as long as we don't hear a certain thing.
Goob, just take the VR glasses off.
But I like it here.
I don't think they work with the Xbox Scoob.
They don't.
Fine. Ah!
You
Why is
scared
there
me.
why is there an orc? Oh, that's just Moreland.
TheFreeRotation Podcast.
What's going on, Free Rotation Nation? This is your slightly hoarse host, Scoob.
No, horse.
Thank you. I knew I just saw it in his eyes. He had to do it.
I wasn't gonna do it. Though.
Yeah, you were. Fuck
you pointed at me and I was
You
like,
had
I gotta do it.
You had it way too ready.
Yeah, horse.
And we're going to talk about Elder Scrolls, and for me specifically Skyrim, because that's really the only Elder Scrolls game I've really ever played, and I'm probably going to play it when I go home tonight, or with myself. I haven't decided yet. But let me introduce you to my gang of co-hosts here. We have the best-haired Breton, Becky.
Hey, that rhymed.
I don't have the
No, it didn't rhyme. It's
the,
alliteration.
the lusty Argonian maid, Angie. It had to be you or her. I figured you'd appreciate it.
Hello, I'm lusty and busty.
And the dork orc, Moreland.
Orc. I don't know what he does. I've never played Skyrim, so.
I'll explain it. Or it's your basic orc like you would always get in D&D.
So,
I mean,
I'm
much.
gonna hit things.
They are expert in heavy weapon and two weapon fighting.
Okay.
So yeah, they actually. you could
I'm
do
gonna
that.
hit things.
Yep.
Smash.
So, like I said, for those of you who haven't played Skyrim, and I know that's Becky and Moreland.
I have played a little bit of Skyrim, and I do know much more about Skyrim than I do Final Fantasy. So, one.
And she knows a good bit about Oblivion.
I do know about Oblivion.
Because I played it a lot.
Yes.
I
Well,
know.
when we kick
I'm gonna be taking the role of Becky in this and not knowing a damn thing about any of it. So.
I was trying to work out a joke and I couldn't get one out of there. Well, for those of you who haven't played, I've never had.
Well, we got
Look at my glasses.
Sorry about that. While we were recording, the dog busted up in here, and we don't know where we ended, so we're just going to pick up where we think we were.
Where were we?
In Skyrim.
Butt farts.
Butt fart.
Oh, we were talking about
What?
who knew anything
Fart.
about the game.
Not
Yes.
me.
Moreland knows nothing. I know stuff. Angie knows a hell of a lot more than that. Actually, I think Angie knows more than probably Scoob, but it's okay.
Well, about the Elder Scrolls franchise. Maybe not as much about Skyrim, but I bet about the Elder Scrolls franchise
Yeah.
itself.
I know a lot about Bethesda because I
So
looked
I
it
wonder
up.
if I should maybe let you preface the Elder Scrolls stuff to get to
Okay,
Skyrim.
we'll let Becky start with Bethesda. Can you tell us about Bethesda, Becky?
What you didn't
Yeah.
know about
We'll
Bethesda.
just TLDR it.
Yeah, well, here's the shortened version of it. Bethesda is the video game company that makes Elder Scrolls. You might also know them for making Fallout.
They made Fallout.
They do make
Yeah,
Fallout.
they are. They made Fallout after 2. They made
That
3
is
and 4.
right.
Oh, that's another
Or
game
the-
I haven't played.
Well, Bethesda.
You disappoint me.
If you didn't know this,
I've been
Bethesda.
disappointed with a lot of people.
Oh
who
my
played
god.
it.
But
Sorry.
Bethesda,
Not sorry.
I'll get to it one day. Anyways, Bethesda in '94. If you didn't know, before the whole becoming a RPG for a video game company that it's known for today, it actually had started making 10 video. It had 10 previous video games, most of which were sports video games.
Ew.
Yeah. So when they actually came up with the idea of coming up with Elder Scrolls Arena, there was another video game company making another game. They actually laughed at the creators of Elder Scrolls Arena.
Well, Becky, can I give them other games that Bethesda's made?
Sure.
Quake,
Okay.
Doom,
Hadn't played them.
Rage.
I thought Doom was id Software, or did they do they did the reboot from in the last
And they did Prey, I think.
They did
Yeah.
a couple of NBA games.
I think Prey was them too. There
Yeah.
was a copy I sold the day at work. I should have looked.
and Terminator.
Oh.
Didn't play that.
But originally they had created Elder Scrolls Arena, and that was the first RPG video game they created. And while that, I don't think a lot of people really take into account the fact that, Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Arena are kind of in the same genre of game. It is nice to see how it's changed over the years and how...
Actually,
Well, and they did Dishonored, Wolfenstein. That's Bethesda.
yeah,
Didn't play either one of those either.
Do you just
Wow,
not play
Moreland.
good games? Jesus Christ!
No, I played Final Fantasy.
Have you played The Evil Within?
No,
was that
Oh.
Bethesda too?
That's Bethesda.
I have not played with Evil Within. I play Final Fantasies and Resident
But
Evil.
no,
That's all I play.
Arena in Skyrim. There's a town you go to. I think it's the Stormcloak town, Winterhold.
Mhm.
There's some cut content where you're supposed to be able to go into the arena from Elder Scrolls Arena, but you have to go have console commands to do it. But yeah, you can go in there and get followers and all kind of shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So that's a little bit
because
of
they were
the...
gonna have like if you played Shadow of Mordor,
Yeah.
which is not Bethesda but it's still an amazing game. They have that whole Urog mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to have that, but I think they just didn't have time to finish it, or they didn't implement it right. But that was how it was supposed to be for those of you who played Shadow of War.
Well, I
Mordor.
thought that was really all I knew about Bethesda, but I've seen the video game. Some of the video games, I've played a little bit of Skyrim, but most of my education has come from Angie playing Oblivion, picking things up, and going to sleep.
That was Morrowind.
Was that Morrowind? Okay, so Morrowind. Anyway, so continue on, friends.
Well, in the Elder Scrolls franchise, the one that most people remember where it starts is Morrowind. It's not exactly where it started, but that was its first big game. And then Morrowind was followed by Oblivion, and then Oblivion by Skyrim. And then, of course, Elder Scrolls Online. But in Morrowind, it was basically played a lot like Skyrim, except think of...
It was a little.
It was just it spent way more time building up your stats.
Yeah.
So, you would have people who would set yourself jumping in a doorway, and you would tape your pad down so you would jump because it increased your stamina
yeah.
and your athletics. So that's what you saw, a lot of boring stuff. I would literally walk around picking stuff up because it would increase my adventuring and curiosity stats.
It was actually when I was reading about Morrowind, just so I could remember what I knew about it. It was funny to see that for the game itself, the way it was created, the technology that they wanted to use for Morrowind wasn't readily available at the time Morrowind was created. So you see basically what would be a game that Bethesda wanted to put out that was not as optimized as it was going to possibly be.
I think it's a curse that Bethesda games, they will push them to the limits of the technology as hard as they can.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Bethesda games will freeze and crash your system because they are so like Skyrim is frozen on my system several times, and my Xbox was at the time still fairly new. Fallout 4 is done to me on my one. I mean, it's pretty strong. I mean, they're pushing the tip of...
Yeah. And that's what the Elder Scrolls has always done. So before Morrowind was Daggerfall, which was kind of a glitchy game. It was still a lot of fun. But the thing about Morrowind that a lot of people remember is it introduced a lot of steampunk.
Dungeon punk, I believe is the term for it.
Yeah, so that was interesting because up until Morrowind, you didn't really see a lot of that in games.
Yeah, Dungeon punk, for those of you, it's basically when they added in dwarves, I think that opened up a lot to do Dungeon punk. Dungeons and Dragons, and getting away from the more European, everybody's a knight, everybody's a squire.
Right.
Whether you could do like the adventuring and inventing, Dungeon punk, which I really enjoy.
Which was, it had a lot of Middle Eastern influence, so it did get away from your typical things. So it was a bit different, including like the different races you could be. It was.
Which we'll get into that, Moreland, so I can explain it to you.
Which also what I've enjoyed about Elder Scrolls in general, and like I said, I haven't really played the video games, but what I think is a good a good aspect of it that you don't see in a lot of other video games is everything is open-ended. So even when you do finish the main story quest, you can keep playing for hundreds of hours after that.
You can actually commit. I think my buddy, he gave me his level when Skyrim was still fresh. He was level 20 before he even touched the first quest to the main thing after you break out of
and because you want your stats to be high, so you would level your stats.
The thing between Morrowind and Oblivion, and they streamlined it a little too much, where you didn't have the whole rubber banding your controller and jumping.
Yeah.
But they still had the level as you do, which is actually really nice.
And Bethesda is, I think, one of the better video game companies that really gives you a chance to optimize your character with character creation. You not only with just the Elder Scrolls series, but even with Fallout. Fallout is very much an RPG-based system.
There are actually YouTube videos of making, if you want to make an unarmed build, which for some reason is viable in Fallout 4, but not Skyrim, you actually can make John Cena. There are people, they'll post, this is what your parameters need to be set to, and you can make a John Cena in Fallout 4.
How can they tell that they made John Cena?
Because you
Shut
can't
up.
see me.
Nobody can see him.
Yeah.
What I really liked in Oblivion was it was different from Morrowind in that when you first started, I think you picked like 7 major skills to level. So you didn't have, because when I say in Morrowind, you had an enormous amount of stats to level. I'm not kidding. It was insane.
I think, excuse me, AJ, I think you'll agree with me on this. If you wanted to play D&D, but you didn't have any friends, but you really want to play D&D,
Elder Scrolls.
play the Elder Scrolls series.
Mm-hmm. And it's not
like,
just...
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
Angie, am I wrong?
No. Because what did it start with? Baldur's Gate and...
Baldur's Gate.
Loved Baldur's Gate.
And... Neverwinter Nights.
Neverwinter Nights.
And then Daggerfall.
Fuck you, Neverwinter Nights.
Well, those were...
Did you get stuck?
No, that's how I got my account hacked.
Oh.
Because I was playing the online version and someone hacked my account.
because you went into the...
If I'm not mistaken, though, didn't BioWare do Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights?
Yeah, but...
But it was one of the first D&D based video games.
Yeah.
D&D-ish.
Yeah.
Well, not D&D based, but D&D.
Well, when I say D&D, I mean the feeling of playing a tabletop RPG by playing a video game.
Well, D&D did pick up Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights.
Right.
It is D&D.
It was created for the purposes of D&D.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to briefly cover Oblivion because it is my favorite. There's a group, something Dawn.
The Mystic Dawn?
Mythic Dawn.
Yeah.
Mythic Dawn
Mythic Dawn.
Because there's a guy in Skyrim who opens up a museum to them.
Yeah. And they're trying to open up the Oblivion portals, and you, of course, are trying to close them.
Was it Mehrunes Dagon?
Yeah. And
there's all kinds of gods and
absolutely
stuff. It's great.
loved Oblivion. And at the end, you go through the Oblivion gates to close them. To me, it was an incredible story, incredible gameplay. Skyrim was lovely. Like, it's beautiful. By far, Skyrim has one of the most beautiful sets of graphics.
Watch it on with the remaster. I think the remaster you can support for 4K.
Oh, 4K.
Oh my god! We're talking about
for the VR.
No, for just base game.
Mm-hmm.
They when it came out on 360, because you can do first person or third person in it. My buddy said when he put it on third person, he was watching behind his character just walking. At the time, it was like I felt like I was just watching someone walk in the grass outside my house.
Right.
And then a bear attacked him.
Right. And that's
what... my God.
And I think that's what Bethesda does really well, too, is each game, it builds upon itself. The graphics, the feeling of playing the game, especially because you see, even now, people who have modded Skyrim who take these lovely screenshots of these games.
We're going to talk about Skyrim mods. Because there's a few of them that, like, now that you can get mods on the Xbox One and they've remastered it, the Immersive Armors Collection, you can get the Witcher armor easy.
Yeah.
But going back to Oblivion, wasn't that one of the... I don't know if Morrowind did it because, like I said, it was one of those things that I've never played. But with Oblivion, was there choices you could make similarly to Dragon Age? And you
would have to remember to save before it, which I never did.
Save.
Well, I did every time except where you have to choose between... you remember the dude, and you have to choose between Mania and...
probably Shoggoth.
It was Shoggoth. And you have to make a choice about which sides of his you want to follow. And I didn't save, so the only achievement I didn't unlock is to choose the other side. And that really bothers me.
But the dialogue trees in that are like Dragon Age.
Yeah.
There's
you can lock yourself out of quest lines because you screwed up. Or if you choose to become, in the Assassin's Guild, you completely lock yourself to another.
Right, and
another
especially
class.
if you became like a vampire. Was it a vampire or a werewolf, or was it both?
Either.
You could lock yourself out, and it could create a whole nother issue.
And you only had X amount of time to cure yourself of vampirism.
Right.
Oh yeah, you have 3 in-game days.
Yeah.
But they in the Dawnguard DLC for Skyrim, they added that. And they added their own perk trees for werewolves in Vampires too. The werewolf one, as a person who likes were creatures, very underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vampire one's cool, and you don't want to walk around in sunlight, but you're like, eh.
Right. You could deal with it.
Yeah, but the werewolf one, like, there's a bunch of rings you have to get, and you have to eat all these corpses and all that. It's a thing.
Well, funny enough, talking about the vampire whole stat tree and all that you end up with in Skyrim, I did read that one of the creators of, I think it was Daggerfall, if I'm not mistaken, was heavily influenced by Vampire the Masquerade. And a lot of the gameplay for Elder Scrolls going on, you see a little bit of that.
Yeah, especially if you play Masquerade Bloodlines, because it's a very... Your choices affect the world quest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
And you see it, especially if you join the assassin cult, the Guild of Assassins.
Oh, the Brotherhood? Dark Brotherhood?
Yeah, you definitely see it in there. The way they... even the mother.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about the mother. You think brood mothers are bad? Okay.
Why does everything have to have a mother involved? Why do they gotta make everybody have mommy issues?
Because if you think about it, the mother in most theologies, or of any way, is creation, because we all come from our mother. So if you just make the mother a dark character, a dark personage, it has that level of creepy that's just fucked up.
Okay, I gotcha. But I know Angie...
I don't know why I had that answer at the ready, but I did, and
I
I liked it.
It was a really good answer.
Yeah. But
Most accurate Scoob answer ever.
funny enough, I did play a little bit of Skyrim, but I was funny for playing Dragon Age for hours on it. I was heavily intimidated about the amount of hours you could play Skyrim. But I think it was also at the time I was in law school when Skyrim came out,
Yeah,
so
you have
there
to-
wasn't.
you have to,
Yeah,
like-
and Becky said she just didn't have the
You
time to
can't do
invest
it.
because there's really no ending.
When I was unemployed, that's when I put in most of my Skyrim hours.
Right.
And that was 2 years. Like,
You remember when I picked up my Skyrim game?
It was.
It was a midnight release.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
And
did.
remember,
We went to it.
and you got me the quackers. Please stop.
Okay, try to.
And you got me the big awesome one.
We got the big box that came. It was like $100
Yeah,
box, and
no.
it has the super awesome dragon that goes
no,
with
it's got
it.
the
Collector's
fucking, it's got
edition
the
and
fucking
stuff.
dragon stone, the dragon mount thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
It's pretty cool.
You have no many times I'd deal if I'm to walk in Andy's room and just steal it and hide it under my shirt and see if you won't notice.
I would notice because he's with my goblins
Exactly.
and my lucky cat
Mm-hmm.
and my Sasquatch Becky got me.
Which is a very strange little corner of your room, you know?
It is. It's my scary cute corner.
You're
Scary cute.
Yes, because let me tell you, I was at work today and I'm wearing another Sasquatch shirt, and there's a lady I work with, super super sweet lady, Charity.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's just incredibly nice. And she was like, she's like, I don't understand why you're so scared of these things, but you just wear them. You just love them.
To be fair, I've wondered that about you myself, and you've been my
Well,
friend for at least a decade plus.
It's true, but I love goblins, but if I saw one, I'd be scared of it.
So would you wear?
Until you knew it wouldn't eat you, and then you'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so fluffy."
It's so cute.
So would you wear a T-shirt with a frog on it?
No, that's a different kind of fear.
Okay.
Like,
I-
this is like
I had to
scary
ask.
movie fear.
Oh,
I had to ask.
Moreland, I have something I have to tell you after this episode. Kayla and I came up with an idea in the car the other day.
Oh no.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Continue.
But Angie won't. But she'll be mad at my child, and she can't be mad at my child, so I win.
Are you going to dress it like a frog?
Nope, I'm gonna teach the frog to frog hop and dress it up like one for Halloween. Have it hop right at you. Well, I ruined it now. Fuck it. But the thing
This is
she
why
won't
you
remember.
can't be a villain, because you ruin your ideas.
No, that's exactly
No,
why
that's
he
exactly
is a villain.
exactly.
Becky.
He's an anime villain.
How many times do villains sit there and monologue? When they think they've won, they sit there and monologue and tell away their plan, and then all of a sudden the hero gets
I
out
would
of
also
it.
like to point out, think about that. My child, frog leaping Angie.
That's why Terminator was so scary. He didn't monologue. He was just going to kill you if he
Right.
caught you.
Right, he's just
And I think-
unstoppable, gonna kill you.
Same with like the paranormal activities and stuff. Those things are so scary because the ghost doesn't stop and be like, Okay, this is why I'm gonna kill you.
This is why. This is the reason.
But the good guys stop to have a discussion, and the demon's like, "Ooh,
be like,
I'm in your butt."
right.
That's definitely not paranormal activity. That sounds like a porn. Porn-normal activity.
There actually is. There
Porno-
actually
No,
is
remember
one.
the Wayans that we watched?
Oh, yeah.
What's it called? It's got George
This haunted
Lopez.
house, the haunted house.
Oh no, it's in Iglesias.
Oh,
It's Gabriel-
fucking.
Oh, I don't know.
I know what it is because I watched it. Because in the beginning,
Is
the
it like
dog
Paranormal
guys.
Activity or something like that?
No, that's the porno. Paranormal
Oh.
Activity is the porno.
I
Oh,
didn't
Jesus.
see that one.
No, of course not.
No,
This-
but I know what you want to talk about because the second one is like, or one of them has Annabelle and he fucks the Annabelle doll
Yes.
and becomes a stalker girlfriend.
And she
yeah.
does, and he's like, "I didn't told you,
She even.
my wife."
By the way, I would like to point out that Marlon Wayans, just a side note from Skyrim, Marlon Wayans getting an Annabelle doll to eat his asshole on camera is the funniest shit I've ever. Because he's just forcing it into his own butt cheeks, and you're like, Jesus Christ, Marlon, or Marlon. What
Marlon!
We know what Moreland would do with it.
So Skyrim. Okay, go ahead, Scoop.
From rib jobs to Skyrim, here we go.
Okay.
Skyrim jobs.
Skyrim.
I was gonna
That's
say
another
it.
Rule 34.
Hey, boom, man.
That's my contribution for this episode.
So,
Do you know how many times I've said that? The Skyrim jobs joke?
so in
Too many.
Skyrim, unless
But you don't care. You're not listening.
Nope.
What'd you say?
You don't care. You're not listening. It's fine.
Oh.
We're done.
I thought he was talking, but he wasn't.
He's not.
Just don't worry about the frog behind you.
Stop it.
There's not a frog behind you. There's not.
Okay. Is it boy?
No, but who's right there?
No, there's a frog. Rabbit.
Let's not, because I don't need our fucking producer to like cut us out.
Oh, it's called a
because-
haunted house.
Yeah,
Rabbit.
that's it.
Yeah.
I said the haunted house.
You said the.
Okay, whatever. Anyways,
And I
Skyrim.
thought you meant it had a
Rabbit.
haunted house. I didn't know
To
you
be
meant.
fair, you know, they usually try to put in, like
Rabbit.
scary movie. They could do shit like that. Anyway, so for those of you who haven't played Skyrim, you start off as a prisoner being taken somewhere.
You're about to be executed, right?
Yeah, to a town called Helgen.
See, I know things.
You're sitting there with a gentleman named Ulfric Stormcloak, who you find out has a thing called the Thuum, which is the power of the voice, which comes from being a dragonborn, which is being a mortal with the soul of a dragon, which you know what that means? Dragon fucking.
Dragon fucking.
How else did you get a dragon soul, Becky?
Why do you have to put
Still
these
one.
thoughts in my head?
Still
I wasn't
one.
thinking about
Capture
this.
it. Capture it. Use some magic to suck it out of the dragon and put it into yourself.
I'm sure they explain it, but they don't ever explain that.
You
But that's what
twerk
I
up
know.
on it. That's
Yeah.
how you get it. You twerk.
So, well, what happens is, and dragons haven't been seen for hundreds of years. As you're about to get executed, well, right before you get executed, that's when you get to character
Dragon.
creation. You can make an orc, which basically, an orc is like your basic D&D orc. You know, big green tusks.
Smash things.
Yeah. You have the Nord, which is basically a Viking. Because
Smash things.
Yeah, because they have an immunity to cold, which cold and lightning and stuff does different things to your stats.
Obviously.
You have a wood elf, which is a great archer.
They shoot things.
Okay. You have the gray elves, which are great with stealth and pyromancy.
They light things on fire.
You have your high elves, which are your Beckies.
They lawyer out of things.
They have great hair.
Good answer, guys.
No, actually, they force everyone into slavery and try to eliminate the Nord's religion.
They lawyer people.
I don't know when I've tried to force anybody into slavery, but
They're like
okay.
the Teventer Imperium.
All right.
They
That's
lawyer.
why
They lawyer
Moreland-
people.
Moreland, I know they can't see because there's no camera, but right over Moreland's shoulder is a fucking Elder Scrolls Online high elf that looks like Becky, and she's like, "Why'd you get me a high elf?" And I just explained it to you. Welcome to the long con.
I hate to tell you this, but Angie got me a high elf way before you did.
He got you one too, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, but when I got it for you, you burst into tears and called us all mean and made us all feel like shit.
To be fair, I still feel that way, but I'm not going to burst into tears because I'm not PMSing.
But the thing is that we didn't even like. It was just funny because we were playing Magic and you were all like,
Are you just offering her your knife to cut her own wrist? Don't do it. She'll stab one of us.
"What are you? Like, why are you?"
Look, if I facilitate, she doesn't stab me.
Yes, she does, Moreland.
I take all these bitches out first so there's no witnesses.
Except this podcast.
That
I'll
she
take
was-
all of you
Well,
out.
as I said before, she'll still upload because it's still. she
Hey
gave
guys,
us an
if we
update.
see you at MomoCon, feel like you want to come by and say hi. That's fine.
Just pat
Did
Becky
you just
down for
pookie all
weapons
your
first.
words?
I was trying to be scary, but it's really hard to be scary.
Anyway, so you have the High Elf, which is a great magic user.
They shoot
I'm not
things.
going to get into all the racial stats because I don't know them all by heart. There's the Breton, which they have.
Nobody plays goddamn Breton.
I did. I played the shit out of Bretons.
Oh my god, Scoob.
If you're going to go spell sword because they get a bonus to magic and they're good all arounder. Plus they find bonus money.
They're a hexblade.
They're hexblade, yeah. Bretons make really good hexblades though.
They do.
Yeah, war sells like slow sword mages.
Only Scoob plays them.
You know what, Scoob? Let me borrow it so I can play one,
Okay.
just so it won't be you.
There's
Oh, good. He's not lonely.
Right?
Oh,
no.
that-
You know
oh,
what?
look,
Get the
they're
legendary
retarded.
collection so you have all the DLCs with it.
I just want to borrow a game and be done with it.
Why didn't you just ask to borrow a game? I would have loaned you Skyrim ages ago.
Can I borrow Skyrim?
No,
See?
it's my special edition.
But you
copy.
have to have
See?
the DLCs to make it fun.
No.
No, I got the one with all the DLCs with it.
The legendary collection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, you can borrow it.
Yeah, you rebought. Okay.
Of course I did.
Because all I have for Skyrim is my
That and
my
Diablo.
360, yeah.
That's fine.
But anyway,
Base game is
so you
fine
get to
by
the
me.
you get to the Imperials, which are your basic, for the Empire kind of paladin, Roman gladiator type thing.
They jail people.
Yeah. And then you have the two races that you either love or you hate.
Khajiit, like this cat on my shoulder.
You have
And
Khajiit.
Argonians.
They cat people.
Hold on. You have Khajiits, Angie.
Khajiit didn't steal. Khajiit innocent.
Meow.
They're very gypsy-like.
Meow.
And they're cat people, so that's a
Meow.
thing.
And they're fantastic rogues. They're like, if you
because-
want to pick a lock, a Khajiit has like
They
Because
stealth
huge
stab
bonuses.
people.
because
Gotcha.
they're great rogues because they're
yeah.
a cat.
And they have a lot of sleight of hand
They stealth stab
And they
it.
have their racial power is dark vision, so they can see like a
But-
cat in the dark.
because they are Khajiits. Everywhere you go as a Khajiit, people accuse you of stealing. That's why
course.
there's a lot of memes like Khajiit's innocent. Khajiit didn't steal,
Because you Khajiits steal.
but Khajiits do steal.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a lot of ding, bing, bing, bing because of this one.
That is our current our
That is our Khajiit.
resident Khajiit, Miss Bawoo. Is it Bawoo? Okay, she's
Khajiit
fine.
did nothing.
Baloo, take your butt off my microphone.
She needs to pass gas.
And then there's
Hopefully.
then there's the Argonians. What should be dragonborn as people, but no, they're just lizard folk. But they get to breathe underwater, so
They lizard
And,
people.
and the thing about the Argonians, and this is what I want to bring up earlier, there's a running thing through all the Elder Scrolls, like the books.
how they can't win shit.
Well, yeah, and the Lusty Argonian Maid is in every single Elder Scrolls. It
Yeah,
just
Lusty-
continues the story.
There's actually a series of books in Skyrim called The Lusty Argonian Maid. It's something lifts her tail. She hooks up with like the Breton master of the house, and he's fucking he fucks an Argonian in her cloaca.
Funny enough, there is a reference to the lusty Argonian maid in Dragon Age.
Yeah, because it's just one of those
Iconic.
just awesome Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's an
And,
iconic
and there's
Easter
other
egg.
books that are in each Elder Scrolls. However, it's in Dragon Age 2. In her house, in her library. I remember that. 'cause I
It's
was
not called the Lord.
enchantment.
It's not called the lusty Argonian
But it
maid,
is.
but it's
It's the
basically
lusty.
about like lizard people
It's
having
like-
sex.
It's like
With
the
humans?
horny
Yeah.
lizard person or something.
Yeah.
But it's
Like,
Lusty Argonian
Yes.
Maid. Well, those are your playable races, and you can pick. There's different Nords are great two-handed fighters or two-handed weapon, so they're your Conans. And then I'm not really a big magic user, so I don't ever really play elves.
Pussy.
Jesus Christ!
No, Khajiit.
Oh, sorry. You're right. You're
Good
right.
job, Becky. That's your one for the episode pod. That's your one for the podcast.
which Khajiits are kind of pussies because they'll backstab you to death. Like Khajiit's gonna backstab you.
And
also a
they're also the only class that you can play a good unarmed build with because they have claws that count as natural weapons. Not the fucking lizard people, which you think would.
No. Well, I mean, think about a gecko.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
lizards don't
okay.
really have...
By the way, the Argonians
Claws.
actually do have tails, so do the Khajiit. So if you have armor, their tail sticks out.
Yes. And if you're riding the horse, the tail.
The tail is bouncing up on the horse.
Oh God, it's so freaking cute. Sorry, I had a moment.
yeah, she did.
She just Khajiited everywhere.
I did.
Khajiit did not come. Khajiit did nothing.
Well, I guess
My socks are wet now.
So Skyrim itself was about becoming the Dragonborn. Is that correct?
Yeah, the prophecy is there's a group of gentlemen called the Greybeards, and they find out through the power of the Thune, or the voice as they call it, that you can speak like dragons. The Thune is what the dragon language is. So if you play the game and if you see a dragon, their magic is them yelling at you.
Oh, cool. Kind of like my dad.
Yeah. For those of you who watch Critical Role,
Yeah.
remember
No.
when was it? Thordak?
Yes.
The red one.
Yes.
Yelled things, and Matt Mercer did that really weird. Ooh,
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
Thune. That is the magic of their voice.
Oh, so is that why Dragonborns also yell like the Foosroda?
Yeah,
because it's the voice of the Thune.
The Foosroda is
And it actually was really sad when you're talking to the Elder Dragon and you learn that they weren't
Oh,
trying to wipe you out. They're just trying to talk to you.
Oh, that's so sad.
No. Oh, and you want to know the cool thing about Parthenax, isn't it?
Parthenax, that's it, yeah.
You go through it and you find out the Greybeards, there's a
This is a choice in Skyrim.
There's a lot of choices that fucking suck. But this is one of them. Parthenax, you find, is a giant gold dragon you find out is telling the Greybeards, and you meet him. By the way, first person, really good graphics, meeting a dragon kind of fucks you up a little bit. Because, like, when they're fighting you and they bite at you, and they can actually kill you and bite you in half. But
I'm down.
And it's enormous. It fills your whole TV screen.
yeah. And if you have a big, like, 50-inch...
Oh, and like the eye comes by. And you're
I
like,
feel like I need to play this on an 84-inch TV,
Oh,
kind of like
Jesus.
the one my dad has.
you're gonna poop.
I'm
You're
down.
gonna poop. But anyway,
I think Becky just wanted to point out that she had an 84-inch TV.
she did. I was thinking that too.
so Parthenax, there's an ancient order of people called the Blades, which they're very like Ronin samurai armor-esque. You get two choices at a certain point in the game. So spoilers for Skyrim.
Spoilers.
It's been out since what, 2012, if not longer, but still spoilers.
Tag them.
You have to make a decision. Do you kill?
Spoilers tagged.
Do you kill Parthenax or let him live?
I let him live and lost out on the awesome stuff in the game.
Yep.
Because if you don't kill him, your game pretty much stops. Not stops, but you don't get.
Well,
you don't really.
There's
get to
also
advance.
an evil dragon called Alduin, who's a black dragon who's trying to destroy the world or help Mehrunes Dagon, which is you have to play Oblivion, to come through and destroy the world. And here's the nice thing: they have a place called Sovngarde, which is the Nord kind of heaven. So it's Valhalla. So like when I said in the Viking episode, play Skyrim, get your Viking on. That's why. But here's the funny thing. Did you know who voices Parthenax, Angie? Charles Martinet. Guess who else he voices?
Who?
Mario. It's a me, Mario.
Oh, that's interesting.
He voices a few other people.
That's interesting.
I remember when I told Jake that, he was like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah.
Jake, look right here. He goes, oh my God. Yeah, the giant dragon. You just want to go, it's a me, Parthenax.
That's funny.
But I think because I let Parthenax live, there was some benefit I got, which was paltry compared to if you kill him. But I could ride dragons. I could call them down and ride them.
Yeah, well, that was in when you get the Dragonborn DLC too.
So they even took away like the good thing that you got from not killing Parthenax.
They made it part of a DLC.
Oh, that's
yeah.
bullshit. Because the choice really is you should kill him. He even tells you, but I just couldn't do it.
Well, here's the thing: as the Dragonborn, when you kill a dragon, you absorb their soul,
The Thune, you take
and you
it.
use it to get more voices. So there's more than just Fus Roda.
Right.
You know, it has 3
Oh
levels.
yeah, it's like unlocking
Yeah,
spells.
Fus Roda, there's the one that calls them down to you, that makes them plummet from the sky. I use that one all the time.
There's one called Elemental Fury where your attacks get much faster.
Yeah.
So you can literally just have a fucking warhammer.
Like
and
Fus
you're just-
Roda is like your most basic one and the one most people remember because that's like the first
and it's
words
the
you
trailer.
learn.
It's the trailer. It's
Yeah,
called-
Fus Roda.
The shout is called Unrelenting Force, and you have to hold down the bumper to do it. Or unless you keybind to something else. But it's you hit it and it goes Fus and they stun. Fus Ro, it knocks them down. Fus Ro, duh, and there's a clap of thunder and you can launch them off a cliff.
Oh, that's cool.
And actually in the DLCs, if you power it up by going through
Oh yeah.
I forget the fucking the Daedra who has a library. You actually get it so they'll disintegrate.
Oh, that's cool.
Holy crap.
But the most powerful one is the one that makes them fall from the sky.
Well, that's the one you get for killing Parthenax, or that's what you get by killing Parthenax. You unlock the kill dragon, or it grounds them, so they actually have to come down. Because otherwise, they're just in the air floating around with a dragon at you, which will fuck you up if you're not prepared.
I always loved watching the videos of people who just didn't expect the random dragon attack.
Oh yeah, you'll just be walking
Well,
along.
you can avoid adding the dragons do not appear in the game until you do the graybeard stuff.
Yeah.
So you can wait
until
to see
ready.
the dragons.
Yeah, but it's still kind of that thing where you can accidentally walk into a high level place and almost kill yourself.
Oh, you could do that with like fucking hag ravens.
I did that almost a couple of times in Elder Scrolls Online, I'll be honest with you.
Let me tell you how I broke Skyrim. There are 2 horses you get that are undying. I got them killed.
Shadowmere and
the white one. Because
white one?
if the other one, there's 2 horses.
No, Frost is. I don't remember the white one, but you always get Shadowmere because he's a nightmare horse with red eyes.
Okay, what's the other one? It probably wasn't white. I just thought it was white.
I think it's the first horse you get.
The white one.
It's black with white on it, but I don't think it's a white horse. Anyway.
But I lost them both.
You know who doesn't know? Me.
It's like I lost Lydia, the very first one. Oh, I traveled with Lydia. I never traded her in for anybody better. And I even married Lydia. She became, and then I lost her. Lydia was just gone. I somehow locked her. I did the same thing in Dragon Age.
Yeah, because
I accidentally lock them
if
it's so close.
Choice. Yeah, you made a choice, or you made a.
No, I didn't kill her either.
Okay.
I didn't kill her
or
either.
you made a choice that she didn't agree with, and
yeah,
might have done it that way. But no,
was it Dragon Age or is it Skyrim where you have to choose to sacrifice your companion?
Depends on which quest in Skyrim you're talking about. Because in Skyrim, there's a couple of them like that.
I don't think there's one. There are in Dragon Age places where you can choose to murder your companions because you want to go the opposite direction.
No, this was a sacrifice. You deliberately misled them. It was like one of your companions who had given you a quest, and you deliberately mislead them.
There's the one where you take the guy to that altar, and you can get the cannibal ring.
Yeah,
Namira, the Namira quest.
Okay.
Where you can get the ring that allows you to eat corpses as a human and gain health.
So as you can see, too, it is easy to confuse Skyrim and Dragon Age because there's a lot of similar storylines.
Shadowmere, you have to
completely different characters.
But Shadowmere, you have to
do the Brotherhood
deep in the Dark Brotherhood, the Assassin Guild
And if
quest.
you do that and get Shadowmere, there are portions of the game locked to you because you are.
Well, there's also the one in the Dawnguard DLC. There's the Blue Flame Nightmare Horse, Arvok.
Oh, see, I didn't get him.
You have to have the DLC. You have to go into the soul realm that's not Sovngarde to find the Laura Bailey is actually in the Dragon Guard.
Yeah.
Because she's
So Moreland, when you play Skyrim, be sure you know where you left your horse. Where did you park?
No, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Oh my God! The title of this episode is "Dude, where's my horse?"
Dude, where's my horse?
That's true. No, Moreland.
Gone.
And if you play Fallout 4, remember where your power armor is at. Same
No,
fucking principle.
it's true because there's no getting it back. I looked everywhere.
Because here's the thing.
And you can only call one horse at a time.
Yeah.
And if you have Shadowmere out, you can't call the other one because
so you
have
up walking
a horse
a lot.
Out. I walked every goddamn where.
You can
steal horses.
You can steal horses,
and
or
you can even rent
find
them. Yeah.
And there's like carriages that can take you from city to city.
Yeah.
But let's be honest here. The aesthetic of you having a horse,
like your own horse, and people know it's your horse, and they talk about it.
And
its armor will match yours.
And if it's Shadowmere, he's got red eyes and appears out of a pool of darkness.
He does. And people are scared of him. Like, yeah.
Because he's an ethereal nightmare horse.
And they know what it means if you were riding him.
That means you're high up in the
So whether you
Assassin's Guild.
like choose not to wear your cloak and stuff, your Brotherhood armor, people, if they see you coming on Shadowmere, they know.
Well, that's the guards will say things like if you're a werewolf, they'll say things like, "Is that fur growing out of your ears?"
Yeah.
Or if your speech is really high, like we've heard about your honeyed words.
Well, isn't Skyrim one of those games that people make fun of you if you just play the vanilla game? You don't mod anything if you play it on the PC.
Maybe now.
I never modded anything. I know my brother did. Like he's huge in hacking stuff and modding.
Oh well, the mods now that they support for Xbox One. There's 2 of them that are really popular. There's a channel called Fudge Muppet, so shout out to Fudge Muppet. Follow us. They did a lot of builds where they've done, and they do Fallout 4 and they do Skyrim builds. They've done an unarmed like Batman build with what armor you get, the aesthetic, what standing stone. But it's there's 3 mods. There's one where it's an alternate start, because in the vanilla game you always have to break out a Helgen. But there's one where you can start as a werewolf or a vampire instead of having to go through the quest to get it.
Oh.
There's one where you can start like at a shipwreck. So if you're into RP for your character, there's the Aurora Standing Stones mod. It changes how the Standing Stones work and makes a couple of them better. And there's also the Immersive Armors of Skyrim mod, which adds a ton of armors and weapons to the game. A shit ton.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, if one day one of my solid state drive is upgraded and can handle much more games that are streamlined for solid state drive, I'll probably play Skyrim on my PC.
There's also, there's two more that are really good. Where there's one that turns the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
Oh,
Done.
That's,
okay,
that's
Moreland's
where
in.
you'll see all the memes come about
Okay.
Thomas Tank
you seen
Engine.
the
It
other
started
one?
here.
The stupid
Yes.
the
Dustin
stupid
showed me
Moreland.
today.
No, have you seen
The
the other
stupid
one?
more. Thanks, Becky. Thanks,
one-
Becky.
There's another one where they're all Macho Man Randy Savage.
She called me. No, I'm
I said,
I'm
you see
out
this-
now.
I meant
I'm-
to say stupid Thomas the Tank Engine,
She said
like
stupid
pictures.
Moreland.
I said stupid Moreland instead.
Moreland, you were getting shit all over the place today.
And I usually build Nord, and I usually try to make Conan because I'm not inventive or creative in any way, shape, or form.
I just couldn't get the girl to be as pretty as I wanted
Wasn't
it.
there
Well, here's
also
my-
a benefit to playing dudes?
That was
in,
Morrowind.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
Morrowind.
Morrowind.
So that's just something you
Because
follow
your
through.
strength started higher,
Right.
And women, your agility, and
And there is a speech. Anyway, there's different skill trees. There's sneak and heavy armor, and another thing about the dragons, their scales and bones were super heavy. But after the first DLC, which was Hearthfire, Hearthfire was when you could build a house. There's a DLC where you could take the scales and bones and turn them into armor and weapons.
Was it Dawnguard?
No, that was the vampire werewolf one.
Oh, okay.
That was like the last one they did.
now
Yeah, Becky, get
I
it
did
right.
play
My bad.
a female animal because I did take the one and go kill Parthenax because I wanted the
You need the achievement. Well, no,
Angie's a completionist.
here's the best thing.
Sometimes.
The Dragon Bone Warhammer
For
is
Rocket
literally
League.
just a fucking dragon thigh bone, and you just hit people
you
with.
just hit people.
It's a very Flintstone looking weapon.
Do you know what my favorite thing? Least,
Wait, look at him. He's like, so you hit people with it? Yeah.
In Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, there's a weapon called the Dragon Tooth. It is literally just a dragon's
yeah, and you
tooth
just hit them with the dragon.
that you
tooth.
just walk around. It's a great it's a great club, and you can walk around and just beat
Yeah,
people to
same
death
principle.
with a dragon's tooth.
So Scoob, in Skyrim. Now I would get so frustrated, but I wouldn't stop doing it. Instead of walking around a mountain, I would insist on taking the horse and finding a way up.
Yes, because the horse does not have real physics. The horse, you can actually gallop up a mountain if you know what you're doing. Well, there's also the jump method where you just jump at the right angle and you just
it's
catch.
kind of sideways. If you run sideways
Yeah.
and just do zigzag, there's even a meme. It's like, well, why go around when you can go up? And of course, you'll always reach a point right at the top where it's like,
No.
you shall not pass.
There's actually a build I want.
And then you fall to your death.
There's a build I want to try, but it's very RNGesus, pun intended. You'll see why in a minute.
Build him to look like Jesus?
No, there's a pair of boots called
Water walking.
There's a boots of water walking. I want to build a boots of water walking, get a monk's robe, build a Jesus character, and his power is nothing but Thum and magic.
Isn't that just
Yeah.
what I
Shock
literally said?
But the only bad thing about water walking is that there's a lot of herbs and stuff you need underwater. That's why you always get the helmet that gives you water breathing if you can't breathe underwater.
Or you play an Argonian.
Who's gonna do that?
I will.
Scoob.
I
I
will.
play.
I played.
Wait,
I
okay.
played.
So
Blah,
what
blah,
ra-
blah, 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 blah.
So the top 3 Skyrim races you play go.
Nord.
Really?
Yeah, I've never played anything but a Nord. I played a Khajiit once.
Nord.
Tabaxi.
Nord Khajiit.
Tabaxi.
I played a high elf.
I know you did.
Actually,
Nothing
no,
to
I
pl-
played a gray elf, I think.
My 3est high level characters in order are Nord,
Britain.
Wood Elf, Khajiit.
Blank, blank, and blank.
Trust me.
I just
they're
really
my-
like the Nords. I play them well.
They're very like, hello Ollie, hello
Aren't they
Sven.
sort of like the fighter, though? Like, if you talk about a D&D class, they're the most versatile
No,
out of all of
they
them.
are the barbarian. They have proficiency. I swear,
Didn't
that's
you
why I know
get
what I said.
magic somehow as a Nord?
Yeah, you can, but you're not good at it. But it's frowned on in the
But you
Nord
you can
community.
get it on your weapon. Like I used Elemental Mastery a lot. And they call it Elemental Mastery, which you get faster and you get a flurry of attacks.
Oh,
and,
the shout. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a shout that does it.
and you can get weapons and enchantments.
Enchantment!
Yeah, I mean,
enchantments.
There's a whole enchanting tree. There's different magic trees. There's the necromancer tree is really weak, but you can summon Atronox and you can summon like spectral wolves.
Boo.
You can throw fire at people. There's a whole charm thing, so you can make people fight other people.
Can I throw shade?
Yes.
Actually, yes.
Oh my God, I'm building Letitia.
That's the other thing about Elder
Don't
Scrolls
throw
is the
shade.
playability,
Oh,
like
I
we were
forgot-
talking about
I
with
forgot
Diablo.
a race, and it's really racist. I forgot the race.
What?
The Red Guards.
Oh.
The essential.
That's okay.
because I'm
Nord
sorry-
Redguard.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but the Red Guards are
Yeah.
essentially the African American
No.
race because they are
Like if
very
you
dark
put
Nubian
Middle
skin.
Eastern with African American, you've got
You're a
Red
Red Guard.
Yeah, like Egyptians.
And they come from a desert area called the Red
Yeah.
High Rock.
Yeah.
No.
I can't remember.
Well, I found my people.
I'm terrible with names.
By the way, they have a scimitar. That's their main weapon.
Gosh, I forgot. Okay, yeah, I played a Redguard because there's some.
Because they're fucking amazing at fucking one-handed.
Yeah, and there's some achievements I wanted with Redguards.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
me banging.
Becky
And
would
in
probably be a
in
fucking Red
Skyrim,
Guard.
when you buy houses and stuff, you can royally screw yourself out of owning all the houses by decisions you make. So Skyrim is particular about
I think I
your decision
actually
tree.
did do that. I think that was
I
something
did
we did
too.
discuss. That we both ended up screwing ourselves out of a house based on a
Well,
decision we made.
In
And the
Hearth,
same with Fable. I did
Yeah.
the same thing in
well, and
Fable.
they fix it because in Hearthfire, you can just there's 3 or 4 spots you can just build your own house.
just want a house, yo.
Because you remember you're supposed to own so many X amount of houses and X amount of towns for that achievement.
Land Baron or whatever it is.
And I
yeah.
couldn't get the one house because I was I joined the
And
Brotherhood too soon.
I think the Hearthfire thing broke it, so you can't do it. You have to own the pre-built houses.
Yeah.
But no, there's a kind of a Batman type character called the Nightingales. They're kind of a subset of the Assassins, but they have a fully no-face headed cloak, a cape, fucking boots that give you muffle so you walk around and make no noise. And you just play them as like the Batman, like noble fucking suplex people. You don't kill them.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. I gotta look it up. You become a character, and they talk in Skyrim. They talk about your character from Oblivion. That you have a particular cape you put on, and you become this character, but you take it off.
I
And
can't remember.
okay, I'm gonna look it up while you.
The companions get like they streamlined it a bunch. They basically Skyrim is kind of like the 4E, 5E for Dungeons and Dragons for Morrowind or for the Elder Scrolls series.
Yeah.
So to jump in to Skyrim, it's really fun. Like I said, there's something.
Well, that's what I think. You can do the same thing with Dragon Age. You get a more richer storyline if you have played all of the games.
Exactly.
But with Elder Scrolls, they make it so you don't have to worry about being part of the gameplay to begin with at any point in time.
Yep.
Because I started playing in Skyrim, so I didn't have to have a background of the other games. I could just play as that character.
By the way, Moreland, the orcs, they're racial because every race has a racial ability. The orcs have one called Blood Rust, or Blood Rush, or Blood something.
Blood Rust.
It's basically
Blood Rust.
it's Barbarian Rage.
Uh-huh.
You deal double and take double, but the screen goes red and this blood haze, and you're just hacking through shit.
Cool. Is nobody going to point out that Becky said more richer?
Oh, I didn't hear
A
it.
more richer story. A more richer.
Oh, more rich.
Is it more
You
richer?
never say richer and more. You
You-
never
you
add
never-
the
you-
ER.
I
and
think
more.
that's why my brain was having an aneurysm just
So
now
what you're
because my brain was trying to stop me from
So what
doing
you're
it.
saying is her grammar was not more good.
Yeah. Listen, I
It
have
was
to have.
gooder than some.
I have to
but
have
worser than most.
decent grammar throughout the day, and we generally record at night. My brain goes to kaputs.
So in Oblivion, it was called because you mentioned Nocturnal. It was called the Grey Cowl of Nocturnal, and what it would do is it would turn you into the Grey Fox. And
They-
you could get away if you were wanted. You would turn into the Grey
They-
Fox
they-
and then take it off and
They-
just be
There's a
yourself.
mod in Skyrim to give you that, but they mention the Gray Fox in the books.
Yeah,
Because there's books in the game you can read little excerpts of.
right. And it's about pretty much your Oblivion character in the Grey Fox because Nocturnal, is a god.
She's the patron of thieves and
And
Assassins.
the Grey Fox is this mythological, like a Robin Hood type character. And so whoever owns the hood of Nocturnal becomes the Grey Fox. But I liked it because when you're in trouble, like you try to steal some shit, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" You put on the Grey Fox hood, run out, take it off, and suddenly you're fine. I used the hood to get out of a lot of shit. if you're
Well,
being
that's cool.
chased by evil things, you put on the hood and hide because it makes you a rogue basically.
And I would like to point out that Nocturnal, they have gods. They have the Aedra and the Daedra. You only see the Daedra in
The sunlight.
no, in the Aedra or the Daedra in the in Skyrim. But I mean, they have each have their own like special weapon or armor.
You saw a lot of the pantheons in each in Oblivion just because of the Oblivion gates.
And for in our D&D one shot for my the Zealot, when I was picking gods because I went Zealot, and you don't have to pick a god, but I did because it made sense. Talos, I was like, I'd only known it from Skyrim,
Yeah.
but it's also in D&D.
Yeah, I think
Because that's
Talos
where-
is actually is one of the OG
Yeah, no, I
D&D
think
gods.
it is too.
Yeah.
So that's why I liked it.
You know what I think is interesting about the Daedra is that they're all male or female. They're all prince.
Yeah,
They're all the Daedric princes.
Yeah, because Nocturnal's a female,
Mm-hmm.
Namira's a female.
Mm-hmm. There's one we're missing a real obvious one, but yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're all really.
Is there an afternoon draw?
Yes.
That's what I was trying to make the joke with the Daedra. Nobody
What's
laughed.
what's your favorite Daedra weapon quest or Daedra quest?
I like the gray fox. That's my
No,
favorite.
from Skyrim.
Oh,
I think my favorite was Clavicus Vile, because you walking into a town, all of a sudden there's a dog, and you have to give meat to the dog.
Bark.
Oh no, the dog talks.
Bark.
The dog literally talks like we're talking right now.
he's the one who.
Because he's like the familiar.
Okay, I know what you're
Vile.
talking about. Yeah.
Bark.
And so you have to walk back to the shrine, which has been infested by vampires. And he gives you an axe called the Rueful Axe. You get two choices. Do you kill the dog, who's got a name I can't remember,
Bark.
or do you, not kill the dog and keep the axe? I, of course, killed the dog in my first playthrough, kept the axe because it makes a really great aesthetic because the axe has, like, thorns in it and cool stuff. So it makes a really good, like, badass fighting
I don't
axe.
think I could do it, and I only really play games unless it's Dragon Age one time. So I'd be like, "This is the one time I'm going to
I know what
play
you're
it."
talking
Right.
about. I think if you look back on what
Barbus,
I said,
that's the dog's name, Barbus.
I like the Sugareth one, the Mind of Madness,
In
because it picks up pretty much from where Oblivion left off with him.
yeah, because so spoiler for this quest, you go drinking with a guy named San Guinevere. It turns out he's a Shoggoth because the gods in the Daedra will just hang out. Mm-hmm. Like, so you meet Nocturnal, which is really
They
creepy.
sound like
Yeah.
Lovecraftian gods too, by the way.
It's like gold and
Right.
silver dragons.
What is the library one?
Um,
Hermaeus Mora. He is a writhing mass of black tentacles. That is his chosen form.
oh.
He's very Cthulhuian,
That's
And then
cool.
you got Azura's Black Star.
which
Wait, I remember that one.
Black Star.
Because it took
have to-
so fucking long to set that up.
well, and then do you go Black Star or do you go the other one?
You go Black Star.
Well, no, because
Because you never go back from that.
you go back,
You're
never go
stuck.
back star.
Well, I say you go Black Star so you can piss off Jake, but that's just me.
Oh, I got you.
well, no, if you're playing an enchanting build, you can either purify the Azura's Black Star, and it
No.
does as much as like a Grand Soul Gem,
No.
or don't. It acts like a Black Soul Gem that's just
There you go.
refillable,
There you go.
so
Do
you
that
can
one.
kill humans and get their souls.
do that one.
Yeah, Black Star.
Yeah, definitely Black Star.
I don't think Moreland knows what the hell's going
doesn't.
on, so he's just saying yes, no, maybe
My
so.
favorite is the Orc one
Shh.
to get the
I didn't want
hammer
him
of
to notice.
Volendrung, because it's a giant fucking warhammer that's the same size as your character,
Yeah.
with a fucking eyeball in it.
Ooh.
I
I still want to go to the Black Star thing. Sorry.
And some of them are super easy, and some of them are funny. Funny kind of, not funny, haha, but just, man, that was interesting. And some of them are fucking hard, like the Star. There's
Oh,
a
the
lot of
Star's a
shit
pain,
you
though.
had to do to that.
Oh,
Like,
fucking
visit all of her goddamn shrines.
the Mayrunes
So
quest.
basically-
At the specific, oh yeah.
Get the
So
hell-
basically,
get
she
the-
was high maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was my basic. Oh my god, she was that fucking love quest
Nephalia.
from fucking
That's-
Inquisition for me.
That's the one we're missing. The Prince Nephalia.
Oh.
No, that's the orc one. No. Anyway,
I pulled them up. Do you want me to read them to you?
yeah, it'll kick.
So there was the Azura, Bothia's calling,
Bothia, there's a cult, but she's
Discerning the Transmundane.
Oh,
3 Met by Moonlight. That one was pretty good. The her scene.
Oh yeah. Okay. So her scene is the god of the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
He's responsible for animals and werewolves and all that kind of shit. Well, there's a guy who goes to a town, and it's trigger warning maybe. There's a guy who goes to a town, and he can't control becoming a werewolf. He accidentally kills a little girl, so he's locked up for it. His name is Sindig or Sizdig.
Mm-hmm.
He escaped, and Hirsine gave him. He stole a ring from Hirsine. That's how he becomes a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, you break him out, he turns to a werewolf, and then he just tries to go fuck some shit up. And Hirsine appears as this ghostly white stag you have to kill to prove that you're. Well, anyway, so you kill the white stag, and he leads you to. And then Hirsine says, "You are my champion." He leads you to Sindig. You have to kill Sindig, which, by the way, if you're not prepared for one-on-one first-person werewolf combat, you're not ready for it.
No, and you'll probably lose the first.
Unless you're just really lucky,
OP and
or you have a bow and arrow and you shoot and run.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so then you have to get something from him called the Savior's Hide.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is when you kill Sindig, he dies in werewolf form. You skin him and then wear his skin as an armor that gives you a bunch of things, and you get the ring, which lets you control your werewolf transformations. And that was cool in the vanilla game. Well, then when Dawnguard, when they added the werewolf perk tree, there's a bunch of other rings you can get. You can get totem werewolves and totem friends, and it's really
You can
cool.
bling out your werewolf.
Sorta.
Okay, and then there's the Cursed Tribe with Malakath.
Malakath, that's the one for the Boldron Warhammer.
And then there's Pieces of the Past.
Mayrune's
That one was hard, I thought.
Yeah, you have to get the hilt, and you get the thing, and you get to this.
And then you have Transmogrify.
And you get a shitty dagger that has a very small percentage to one-hit kill anything, including a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't worth it.
But it's a dagger, so if you put it in one hand, you have this really cool swing speed.
So if you have like a two-handed, I would put it, since I was two-handed fighter, I would keep it in one hand, unless I needed to change to a heavy damage.
No, what you do is you keep the dagger in the right hand and then your other thing in the left hand, because your swing speed is based on your right hand weapon. Yeah. So you could do you could do an axe with the dagger swing speed.
Right, and that's the only thing that made it good. There's the Whispering Door with Mephala, Meridia, the Break of Dawn.
Yeah, the Whispering Door.
That one was creepy, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Whiterun, one of the Jarl's children hears a voice talking to him.
It's a lot like Dragon Age. Think about.
It's the same broodmother voice, basically. And you go through and you find. Was that one for the black mail? Was that one where you got the black ebony mail, or the ebony blade?
I think it was. No, I think it was the mail, wasn't it?
Okay, so the black ebony mail it's a jet black suit armor. You can crouch, and if you crouch around people, they get a poison status effect the longer they're around you, and they start to die.
Okay.
But there's another one called the Ebony Blade, where you got it, and the way to power it up is you had to kill people that were for your friends. And it was a giant jet black katana.
Oh, that's cool.
Meridian, the Break of Dawn.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, Malakbal, the House of Horrors.
That fucking bullshit. You go into a house in this city called Markarth, and it's carved...
Which is already creepy.
Yeah.
Markarth's creepy.
Because it's carved out of a dwarven settlement.
Think of the...
Deep Roads?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's literally the first thing that happens is, and I found out you can stop her murder. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh.
You have to be really quick, though. You have to know it. But the first thing that you walk into town, there's a murder of some random shopkeep. It's like For the Forsworn, which is some ancient Nord fucking...
Yeah.
Good old boys, the Nord South will rise again bullshit. It is.
It is. I mean, that's a perfect way to describe it.
So you go through all this, and you walk by, and there's something called the Vigilance of Stendar. They're like the Cleric Justice League. They want to eliminate all vampires, werewolves, da-da-da-da. You walk by this house, and he goes, we've heard this house has been used for Daedra worship, and da-da-da-da. And you're like, okay, whatever. And then you walk in the house, and the minute you walk in the house, the game loads, a chair flies by your head.
Yeah.
You're like, all right. you keep going. It's very poltergeist. You hear a voice talking to you, disembodied voice that you're hoping when you turn the corner you see something, but you hope
But
you
you
don't see
don't.
something because you don't want to like suddenly bird mother.
Yeah, it's paranormal activity.
Yeah, it's paranormal activity in Dragon. in the game.
It's so creepy because the town's creepy. It's creepy. The whole thing is just creepy.
Does it make you do a 360 and run?
Even if you go out of the house onto the porch, you can't
No,
really.
you can't leave the house.
Can't leave the
remember?
house.
You
yeah.
can't leave the house until
You can look out and stuff, and you can see the porch and stuff, but you can't leave.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
Yeah.
It gives you a mace, but I forget what the mace does.
There's the taste of death with the Namira.
That's when you get there's a the Nords are putting their people in burial mounds and halls of the dead. They're suddenly told they can't go into the hall of the dead to see their relatives, and they're pissed off. So the guy who's in charge of the hall of the dead is like, look, I can't explain it. And if you have a height of speech, you'll go, look, people have been gnawing and eating the bodies. What? So you go in and there's a woman talking to you and thinks she's going to attack you, but she doesn't. And she talks about eating the bodies and gnawing on the bones. And she invites you to this thing. Well, you go to this thing, this cave, and you have to clear it out. It's like spiders or something. And then you leave and you come back. When you come back, you have to bring the priest as a sacrifice to Namira.
Oh, is that the one you were talking about, basically?
That's it.
The
yeah.
one where you sacrifice
You
it?
have
Okay.
to lure him down there and
Here's
sacrifice
the
I
him.
gotcha.
Here's the fucked up part. When you go back, you see a bunch of people in that thing that are cannibals that you've interacted with.
Oh, nice.
So you're like people you've bought shit from that you've talked to, like old Mrs. Robinson, and she's the guy who eats somebody.
Yeah.
So you go and, Namir puts a spell on the guy. You get him to lie down on this table. You're like, sacrifice him or don't sacrifice him. You sacrifice him. This guillotine-like thing falls down, pierces him, and he gets eaten. And all of a sudden, the goddess of like cannibalism talks to you, and you get this ring, which lets you, as a human, eat corpses to live.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean,
And that was one of the ones where in one character I didn't make the decision to do that, and the other one I did. And I don't know which one I enjoyed more. And then there's the only cure, which I thought was pretty boring. The Periite. Yeah.
by the way, the random encounters in that game, they're like you'll randomly get people trying to like Dark Brotherhood members trying to kill you.
Yeah.
This was my favorite. Sanguine and Night to Remember.
So that's the one where you
I
go
love this.
drinking.
Yes. An
gotta
accepted
be-
drinking contest.
It's got to be specific. I forget what town, but there's a guy named San Gwynweir. You have to have a drinking contest with him. You end up like going through the temple of like Mara, which is like the love goddess, and like you stole a thing, you ran through naked, you offended people.
You
You like put your balls on the fucking Jarl's forehead. You have to apologize for
I
it.
like it.
It's like Euro Trip.
Nice. Okay, I'm down.
Or Hangover. It's Hangover.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then there's my favorite, The Mind of Madness, and then Waking Nightmare with Vermina.
I don't
It
remember that.
says, start location speaking to Arender and the Wind Speak In and Dawnstar.
Okay, that's the one where there's a weird, you go, the town's being plagued by nightmares.
Is that the one where the mountain's right behind them? Oh,
I
the
think so.
night. Yeah. Oh,
The
okay.
town's plagued
And
by
you gotta
nightmares.
go up in the mountain, and there's some shit up there. There's
Yeah,
a
and
cold
you have,
up there.
Yeah, you have to drink the fucking
Yeah.
time travel juice.
Yeah. I remember that. Boring. Some of them are just boring.
Time travel and it's boring?
Yeah,
not
it-
good,
it
time
is.
travel.
It's boring.
When you can't do time travel, right,
Dawnstar
that's
to
a
me
problem.
is the most boring because it's like the cleric place. I tried to avoid there as much as possible. And that's the place I couldn't get the house.
And
Gotcha.
there's a bunch of, there's one where you've come across a random stray dog named Miko. You go to
Does
his,
he talk to?
No, he's a
Oh
regular
my
dog.
god, they have random dogs everywhere.
Bark.
Well, you go to his owner's shack and his owner's died from something. So you can either
Probably
take the dog or
dysentery.
leave him there. Actually, I think so.
Well,
Well, you take the dog.
I'm
'cause it's a
surprised
dog.
that other than maybe a small reference at the very beginning, you didn't make the most important reference.
The arrow to the knee.
Of course.
Well, that's actually an old, I forget what country. It's an old thing.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
And
The
then-
guards will say it to you in
Every
The Nord-
town.
yeah.
Every town.
But then I took an arrow to the knee.
Because I think it's an old Norwegian
yeah.
thing meant for, okay, you're going to stop. Basically, you're getting married. That was the joke.
Oh, look at that origin story. I did not know that.
But yeah, they'll tell you, I used to be an adventurer like you. And then I took an arrow to the knee.
Didn't Brandon fuck up his knee and then he got a shirt that said I took an arrow to the knee?
Okay, Brandon, our old boss at Kroger. Shout out to Brandon because I know you're a listener. He was playing touch football, I think, with Peter,
Probably.
and he fractured his kneecap. I didn't know fracturing a kneecap was that fucking severe.
Wow.
It's
I can
bad.
only imagine. Yeah.
I mean,
But he had to use all the time off and vacation he had. He had to have a fucking immobilized leg. It fucking sucked.
But he took an error to the knee.
I think he got that shirt.
yeah, he. You told me he came in like a few days later after he'd actually recovered and
I seem to
everything,
remember,
and he was wearing the shirt. That,
Or he like drawn on a white shirt, like took an arrow to the knee or something.
Yeah.
I think what Becky thought was me using magic was just enchanting the. You know how you go to the forges and enchant your stuff.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's.
Oh no, the magic in Skyrim is
Yeah.
you'll know.
I mean, because if you don't have actual magic, you can easily just enchant your shit. I think I need ice. Oh, sword.
Well, then in the other stuff they added you could smith iron and steel and leather
Yes.
and hide
And make your own
and
stuff.
then make dwarven.
Hey.
Oh, you can do that in Dragon Age too. In Inquisition, you can, and I think that they took that from Skyrim.
Yeah.
And then there was dwarven, which was this giant like steam because the dwarves were steampunk in Skyrim.
Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about that in Dragon Age 2 was the entire steampunk dwarf city that you go through. I know you know what I'm talking about. It had all the constructs.
Oh, yeah, the golems. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Dwemer construct.
Yeah, it was the same. Skyrim and Dragon Age were a lot alike in those two
The
things.
dwarves in this were called the Dwemer.
Yeah, and the
They built
dwarves
construct
in
and-
Skyrim. I mean, the dwarves in Dragon Age and the Dwemer. They were. I mean, you could put them side by side, and they're
Yeah,
just
but
the same
there's
people.
actually, yeah. So you would get this big, bulky, gold riveted armor. There was a glass armor, which I didn't like the look
Yeah,
of it.
but it was. I did because it kind of glowed. It was good for elves. On
Yeah.
an elf, it
because
looked
it was
nice.
a light armor. Yeah,
Yeah,
There
and it
was
had that
elven
pretty
armor.
glowy green.
Yeah, there's an elven armor, which is very like woody looking, and
I just always loved the Daedra armor. That
oh,
black
the
red-
fucking the Daedra armor, which looks like vicious and fucking
Yeah,
like if you
Just
turn
black and red.
if you like fucking shoulder butt a door, you might get stuck in it.
yeah.
All the spikes.
Yeah. The fucking ebony armor.
And didn't the
was-
spikes and stuff grow based on like how like if you had that ebon blade and you were feeding it, your armor would change.
I think that was a very unintended thing, and it looked
Oh.
like that, but I don't remember if it was.
Oh,
And then
okay.
there was the dragon armor, and then they had something called Stallroom, which is enchanted
And the ebon
hardened
armor
ice.
was nice. Oh yeah, that was.
The enchanted
I did like
ice,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
What I find amusing about Skyrim at this point is the fact that you guys remember certain quests and certain items more so than the actual storyline itself.
Because the storyline takes for fucking ever.
You've played half the game before you can play the game before you get into the storyline, and that's the truth of
My
it.
buddy got to level 20, which is not easy,
Mm-hmm.
even with power leveling, before he went to the
Yeah,
graveyard.
just to do the first thing. You can do all the side quests and join all the guilds and stuff. Join the Brotherhood and go through all
well,
those
not all
quests.
the guilds. You couldn't join all the guilds.
Well,
'cause they
some of
locked
them
out,
locked
yeah.
them out. So if you did which I always say the Brotherhood, I love those benefits.
Everybody did Brotherhood.
Hmm.
Cause
And it's easy too. The Brotherhood was easy to do. It's just killing people.
Yeah, and then but then there's the one where you can actually ask the chick who locked you up in the cabin.
Yeah.
If you kill her, you can loot an entire set of the Brotherhood assassin armor and still kill the Brotherhood.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
that's cool.
and there's some armor you wouldn't wear in a town, so you wouldn't wear your assassin armor in a town because the guards immediately go for you.
Right.
Oh,
You
and,
wouldn't wear your werewolf pelt.
and if you attack somebody, the whole town's coming after your
Oh
ass.
yeah,
That's why
they don't
you're
roll over and
Yeah, that's why you like that cape so much.
yes, because you just put on your gray fox hood and take it off, and suddenly they're like, oh, I thought I saw. Who was that mask? And you became a different person. So each time you put on gray fox and took it off, they didn't remember you from before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was
Here's the best part.
That is
Skyrim.
cool.
If you get your pickpocket high enough, you can actually pickpocket people
while you're talking to them.
while you're talking to them and leave them, take all their shit and leave them naked in the middle of town.
Yeah,
I love to do
like,
it with merchants.
I was watching a video and the guy was just sitting there talking to somebody and he's pickpocketing him. As he's talking to him, he just leaves the guy. He's standing there in his boxers and the guy just walks off.
Yeah, that's a very high
Khajiits
pickpocket.
are really good.
And he
But-
didn't even know it. He
yeah.
was like,
And then there's the you can pickpocket poisons into people's pockets and they'll take
Oh, you
effect.
sure
My favorite
can.
is the paralysis poisons.
And they're just
Pickpocket.
like,
Yeah, because the sprite just goes solid and falls over.
yeah.
That's funny.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
The one thing in Morrowind and Oblivion that I was happy they didn't do in Skyrim was you had to collect an insane amount of herbs. You still did it in Skyrim.
If you're doing an alchemy run, yes.
Yeah, but you didn't have to collect as many because in Oblivion they had the ones that as you got close to them you could hear them ringing.
The
and I know
root.
Yeah, and I know they had them in Skyrim too, but
There's only 11 white Nern roots in the fucking base game.
because in Oblivion,
and
you collected them all in Oblivion.
10 of them for a quest.
Yeah, but you could hear them, and you're like that, and a lot of them are underwater. So if you're water walking, you're gonna miss some Nern
or
roots.
near water.
Mm-hmm. You can hear them.
The fuck thing that fucks me up about Skyrim and Fallout 4 too is I watched somebody play Far Cry. And they had like sharks and alligators in the water, and I was so scared for the longest time to go in the water because I didn't want first person something to get me because I would just lose my shit.
Oh, in Grand Theft Auto, there's stuff in the water that you don't expect it. Yeah.
Ones. I mean,
So we have
I
Dude,
love
Where's
Red-
My Horse and Grand Theft Horse now.
Yes.
Ah, horse.
Grand Theft Horse.
that's enough of this Skyrim job.
Hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hold on, wait.
Oh.
Becky,
Yeah.
where can they find us?
You just decided to whisper it instead of yell it at me?
I changed the pace up, and I can't talk much louder than this right now.
Okay, I got you.
It's Becky.
Let's do it together.
Okay. Wait,
Don't
you're going to
mess
put
up
reverb on
Yeah,
it?
don't mess up her spiel, Scoop. Here we go. Go.
You can find us on Facebook at The Free Rotation Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at The Free Rotation. You can also find us on Instagram at The Free Rotation Podcast. And we are on YouTube and Twitch at The Free Rotation.
Where else, Becky?
You can also find us on Weeby Geeks, the geeky podcast network with other great podcasts on it. Make sure to check us out there. We are affiliates.
And Spotify.
We are also all over the internet with different podcasting apps.
And Instaham.
Instaham?
It is Instaham, right?
Instagram?
Instagram?
Wait. Did you talk about our website?
Yeah.
Guys,
Hold
I
on,
have
wait,
like 14
hold on,
things
hold
I have
on,
to go
hold on.
through.
Becky.
There's no instant ham.
No.
I am offended.
You'll be okay.
We need to have a talk.
Okay, so you can also find us on all your favorite podcasting apps. We're on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. Subscribe, follow, leave us a review. We love to hear from you guys. We also want to know about your favorite video game RPGs. We are wrapping up our rotation for video game RPGs, so we are coming up with our next one in our next episode.
You know what's funny about this? She closes her eyes and like super talks with her hands.
I know,
Right?
but it's like I'm trying to get it out of my I'm trying to get it off
You're
my
gonna
brain.
knock me out one day.
You're trying
Whatever.
you're trying to get it out of you? Is that what
This,
you're basically...
this room isn't huge. You will probably knock her out one day.
So we are. I'm leaving my eyes open. We
My
are.
eyes open.
And she's still talking with her hands.
We
I'm
are.
not drunk, can't you tell? Wait, what?
We are about to start our next rotation.
Yes.
So what is our next rotation, guys?
Fandoms.
So we will be
Well-
hitting our episodes regarding our favorite fandoms. You probably haven't heard us talk a lot about. You know, a lot of us have talked about a lot of certain things over and over again.
So what's your fandom?
Mine will be Studio Ghibli.
Scoob?
Professional wrestling.
Moreland?
Magic the Gathering.
And mine is Whedonverse.
So we will actually be, we are going to switch up our rotation for next time because we actually will be recording a special episode for the pre-release of Dominaria since we love magic.
Wait. You mean Kamigawa and best commander set ever?
Yes.
Basically, yeah. So you could expect to have a special episode on that one. So our next episode will actually be my Studio Ghibli episode.
Woohoo.
So, yeah,
I
guys.
think.
Well, anyways, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
And remember, Khajiit stole nothing, Khajiit is innocent.
Free Rotation Podcast.
Where were we, Scoob?
So things have gone wrong, and we may or may not have ended up in Moreland's penis.
Wait, hold on. How the fuck did y'all get in there?
This is Elder Scrolls 69.
Well, you remember that the Sanguine Rose, or the Wabbajack? No, it's the Wabbajack.
Yeah.
You know how the Wabbajack does stuff in Skyrim?
Yeah.
I may or may not have found one.
Oh, no.
So
I
now,
don't even play this video game series. How did I end up here?
You're guilty by association.
Oh,
because you
Again.
said, "Hey Scoob, let me see that stick," and then you went
And
boom,
then you
and now
poked it.
we're in Moreland's penis.
Why? How did y'all get in my? You know what? Just get out, please. Just out.
First of all, can we talk about how roomy his dick is?
It's pretty roomy.
Oh Jesus.
But
well, it hasn't seen action in a while.
That's not,
That is not true.
yeah, because if you look
It's only
on the,
been
if you
a
look on
month.
the
How
wall,
can Moreland hear us if we're in his penis?
because these
Because
headphones
you-
are really good.
And you're in my penis.
guys, what is that Russian at us?
Marlon, do you have to pee?
No.
Wait a second. Did the hallway just get longer? Oh God!
Oh
Free
no.
rotation. Blah. No, the Skyrim episode is not you coming us out. I'm a veto, insta veto, Danny DeVito even.